Hey there lads and ladies, it is Petrifying Bumpkins here, back again with another PSVR video. So this time you may have heard that the PSVR has sold 3 million units worldwide. And what I want to talk to you today about is whether or not 3 million is good or bad. So Sony officially tweeted out that the PSVR has surpassed the 3 million milestone, but I got to thinking about it, and it's been 21 months since the PSVR has been on the Americas. So is 3 million after 21 months really impressive, bad, or is it somewhere in between? So let's take a look at some of the facts. So we know that when the PSVR launched back in October of 2016, that it actually sold great. It sold more than Sony expected. It sold out in many shops. People were having a hard time getting a hold of it. And Sony went on to hit the 1 million milestone fairly early on in the PSVR's life. And it wasn't too much longer after the PSVR launched that we started hearing news that the PSVR had outsold both the Rift and the Vive combined. Now both of those other headsets had and still do have a higher barrier to entry, but that's not the point. The point is that Sony came along with the PSVR and clobbered both of them in the sales department. And then sometime after that, Andrew House, the Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO at the time, admitted in an interview that he was actually uncomfortable with Sony being in such a lead compared to the competition at the time. He wanted a more tighter competition for a healthier new platform. Now you might look at that information and you might think to yourself, you know, wow, PSVR did better than Sony's wildest dreams, you know? But I think the Rift and the Vive just did so much worse than Sony's wildest dreams. Now I don't want to say that the Rift or the Vive are failures or anything like that, I don't believe they are, but their sales have made the PSVR look really good in comparison, as opposed to just maybe just good, you know? So with the Rift and the Vive so far behind the PSVR, it kind of makes it difficult to get a read on whether or not the PSVR is actually doing well or not. And because the PlayStation VR is actually kind of walking on new ground here, it's trailblazing, it makes it difficult to compare it to anything else, right? Although I have seen people compare it to both the Vita and the Wii U unfavorably, but I don't think those are valid comparisons. Why? Because the Vita and the Wii U are actual consoles, they're standalone, whereas the PSVR is actually a peripheral to be used in conjunction with only the PS4 and only the PS4 Pro, those two only. You can use it on PC too, but that's not as intended. So to compare those consoles to a peripheral for a different console seems unfair to me. So then you might say, let's compare it to a different peripheral for a different console, in which case you might say the Kinect or the PlayStation iToy or something like that. But those are just cameras. I mean, you actually need the PlayStation camera just to use the PSVR. It's just one component in the whole setup. So I feel that's not a fair comparison either, you know? Even if it is a better candidate for comparison compared to a Wii or a PS Vita. Maybe the closest comparison might actually be something like that Oro-B robot thing for the NES or the SNES or whatever. And it would be insane to compare it to that. So we can't compare it to other consoles. We can't compare it to other peripherals. We could compare it to the Vive and the Rift, but those are doing so poorly compared to the PSVR that it kind of doesn't really offer much insight onto the PSVR. So at the end of the day, is the PSVR doing well or is it doing bad? I think the answer right now is neither. It's doing its own thing, it's going at its own pace, it's setting the benchmark for what the next generation of VR headsets will be measured against. Of course, nothing I've said in this video is fact. Well, some of it has been fact, but I mean the conclusion that I came to at the end there is all just my opinion. It's just how I see it. If you disagree with that, I completely understand. I'm not claiming to be some kind of expert in the field of VR. Maybe you think it's perfectly okay to compare the PSVR to the Rift and to the Vive, and in doing so you think the PSVR is doing amazingly well, and that's completely valid. But the reason I wanted to make a video about it is because I think it's an interesting topic, and I think it's a topic that we can discuss further in the comments below, or at least I'm hoping we can. Two heads are better than one after all. And with that, I will end the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked us, if you liked the channel, want to help me out, please consider doing all the usual shite. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.